Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Madmen with a Box live for the 175th time. Yes, that's what it is. I had to look at the number to be sure. I'm Pixel, one of your many co-hosts. To my side is another one, the man from down under, OZChris. If you look below, you can see it's Landry of the Q.
Hello.
And below is Joe of the Corallos.
Thank you. And my 9.6 graded Heathcliff #1.
I should have.
Very impressive.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Pixel. How rude of you.
I should have introduced our new co-host.
It's oddly weird to me. Every week when we do this, Joe, you've got books on your shelf right there that I can see on my shelf right over the monitor. So I can see your copies and my copies at the same time of the hardcover. Is that Neat Stuff and 8-Ball and whatnot?
Yeah, I got 8-Ball, Hate, like all that stuff. Yeah.
They're right there, right over behind you. Are also my copies.
Amazing. Some really good stuff. For the best.
Oh yeah.
And soon we will be joined by Gevain from Animated Concepts. If we remember last week, we were talking about the worst episodes you can use to introduce people to Doctor Who. And the Lazarus Experiment was brought up. And so we had the wild idea to review the Lazarus Experiment. We don't really have anything in the way of news, even with Galley 1 happening, or it's already happened. We don't get that much news. The only thing we really have is Pete McTighe saying that the end of like Kerblam and what was his other episode?
I think it was just Kablam that it was
mentioned.
No,
he said both. That
Chibnall,
Kerblam, he handled the last third, and then he had some influence on the ending of his second one as well. That Lucky Day was his first hands off that he got to do.
Was it Praxis? It's either Praxis or Orphan 55.
It's not Orphan.
Praxis, then. Praxis is his other one.
Yes. So yes, we got that. Big Finish. They announced today, I think it was, that they're going to be doing well, this isn't Doctor Who, but they're doing a series of young James Bond based off of the popular book series. That's neat. But in the Doctor Who realm of things, they have announced a new story with the War Doctor and the Ronnie.
Ooh. The Ronnie's never been more popular than right now.
Maybe RTD is a genius?
Here's the thing, though, Chris. Tell them when this was recorded.
So it's funny because, War Doctor, the current War Doctor series, this is their latest one that's coming out in May. It features Savon Redman, who plays referred to as the second Rani because Kate O'Mara is the first. She was in 2 previous Big Finish stories, the Rani Elite and Planet of the Rani. They're okay. They're nothing really to write home about. So, surprise, after 10 years, they got her back as the Rani. Okay. So me and Pixel were discussing, when was this recorded? Because, I don't know, it's very close to the previous series we're having the Rani as well. Recorded of December of last year. They really just saw the Rani in season 2 and were like, why don't we just bring our one back?
Let's do it.
Never been bigger.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's also crazy that nothing came out of like Galley 1. I talked to a friend of mine who went, and he was just kind of bummed. He was like, a bunch of people that he normally sees there weren't there. It was, I imagine being at Galley 1 was a lot like being at the Javits Center election night of 2016 for the Americans here. I can say that because I was there, and it was not a fun time. But yeah, crazy stuff that like no interest, really, nothing. A lot of people weren't there. Their big guest was like Peter Davison, which again, I fucking love Peter Davison, but like, damn, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Is this the first year of the new owners of it, or
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's still like it was just like, I mean, they had Melly Gibson, but like, who cares?
That's not
Like, at this point, like,
Damn.
what are we doing? Like, I mean, wow.
Yeah,
Like,
that statement was so harsh that Gevain had to unmute himself. Damn.
I mean, nothing
actually-
against her or anything.
I don't know
Who
who you're
cares?
talking about. Who is that?
Ruby
Didn't-
Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right?
I honestly had no idea who you were talking about.
This is what I'm
on a
talking
Doctor Who podcast.
Again. Damn.
It was such a what a rough couple of years we've had, huh?
It ain't good.
They haven't been great. They haven't been great, man.
As Sean says in the chat, Rani versus War Doctor is exciting. RTD helped with the rights? ? I assume so because it's always been it's a Pip and Jane Baker creation, so they have to get the rights from the estate to use the Rani, which is probably why she wasn't used in Big Finish for like 10 years because the rights probably lapsed or they were asking for quite a sum to use them. So it's like, well, we can just move on.
They also announced, I think it was during last week, but we didn't really talk about it. Big Finish now has the rights to continue making Doctor Who for another 10 years.
Good. And then the new wilderness years.
Yeah.
That's when they're strongest. I love the way the rights work in England with this stuff. Although it can be brutal for the fans sometimes, it can really hurt the dissemination of episodes and characters. But from a creator standpoint, this whole thing about, I wrote this character for a TV show and now I own it. That doesn't happen here.
No. Yeah, you sign checks and you give away the rights to your kids.
Yeah, well, look what happened with Marv Wolfman with Blade. That was his creation for his zines, and his editor convinced him, "Oh, put him in Dracula. Put him. It'll be great." He's like, "Yeah, but that's my character." It's like, "No, you'll still get to own him." He goes to cash his check to sign it. On the back was he signed it to cash his check. He had to sign all his rights away.
Yep.
That's why Marvel owns Blade.
And Sean is saying it doesn't happen that way in the UK anymore either.
No, that's sad. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Sean is right. They did announce some of the stories for Rutans versus Sontarans. And the Doctor has a story with some funky-looking Sontarans.
Is the Doctor going to guest star in a Rutans versus Sontaran story? They're going to...
Yeah. Pretty much. That's how they've done. But
I don't get why we don't do them more in live action. Like Horrifying Rock was a really good Tom Baker story. I love that story.
Great.
And like, that's like, it's like these are great. Like, use them again. What the hell?
Yeah.
I think the only time they've ever appeared was in one of those 11th Doctor video games. There's that adventure game one with what was it? Gunpowder Plot, I think it was. Yes.
Okay.
They appear there, and that's it. They have not been in the show. But then again, we should not say that because if RTD is going to stay, he's going to be like, well, people want the Rutans back. And I'm going to fuck it up.
I'm going to fuck it up in a 2-part finale where those big reveal is the Rutan.
Sean, isn't it a doctor appears in all 4 stories? I don't think it's just the fugitive doctors in all 4 of these stories. Because they were saying that the doctor appears in all 4 stories, but I don't think it's the same incarnation in all 4. If it's anything like the last...
The Sontaran versus Rutan ones, like last year or year before, it was a different doctor each time, so...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's what Sean meant. Yeah.
Other than that, no news.
No news.
We just
Which
got to start
means-
making up news.
Might as well.
The new Crinoid miniseries is really looking interesting. They're crossing it over DC, Poison Ivy.
Did you hear they found the common relative between Tom and Colin Baker, and now they are officially family?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shocking
That happened.
news.
All right, let's get into our topic. The Lazarus Experiment. It is the 6th episode of series 3 of Doctor Who, starring the 10th Doctor and Martha, as he is trying to return her home. On the television blinks an exciting newsreel that shows Professor Lazarus announcing that he will change what it means to be human. Landry, start us off.
Yay.
I enjoyed this a lot more this time around. I've only seen this episode the first time, when it aired. I never went back and watched it because I did not enjoy it the first time, and maybe my expectations were low, and that helped. And maybe it helped that I actually skipped a few times. I was a little short on time today. But what I saw worked for me. I really enjoyed the speech, the exchange between Mark Gatiss' character Lazarus and the doctor, like just before he turns the final time in the church, when he's just, and the doctor's like, "I'm old, dude. Like, I'm old. You don't get it. Being old sucks." I thought that was well acted, well written. Everything about that I thought was really strong. It just needed to end there. The Phantom of the Opera bell tower bit just felt tacked on, but otherwise, I enjoyed it a lot. I was, there's a show I hate watch a little bit, Bridgerton. And,
Why?
And I'd forgotten, like, that's where I know that Martha's mom from. She's on Bridgerton.
Oh, right.
Right.
Oh.
So I literally was watching Bridgerton last night and then watching this tonight, and like, okay, that actress has some good breadth there. I liked it better than I thought I would. I don't know how much more I can say. The CG, obviously, that's kind of the elephant in the room, and yeah, it's not great. It's also 2008 on a TV show budget. The show was still really new. We're on season 3, and it was I think they really reached a little too far with the design of this one, that it just necessitated some CG they couldn't quite pull off. But I thought it was acceptable. It was certainly it still engaged, but maybe that's the whole thing of, like, I've never been one to care too much if special effects aren't on peak. It's okay,
Okay.
That's my take.
Joe of the Corallos.
Yeah, sort of echoing some of what was brought up, like the special effects. It's not like the worst. I mean, I love classic Who, so like, what am I gonna do? Be like, oh, this is awful. Now let me get back to Delta and the Bannermen. Like,
Yeah.
So like, sure, but so that said, I don't like, so much of it just felt like unnecessary. Like, there's something about stories like this where it's like, I need you like to meet me halfway, like as the viewer of, you know, like you're talking about like this like way to restore youth, and you turn into a giant stupid looking scorpion monster, and it's kind of like, you know, the price we pay for revolution. It's like, no, man, like you're not winning me over on this one. Like, there are ways to do it, like, you know, David Cronenberg, The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. I think that, like, you sort of see, you know, but you have more time with it. You can kind of see how that goes. Like here, it's like he kind of needed to be more of like a vampire, you know, kind of like, oh, I'm youthful, but I'm like sucking the energy out of people. Like I have to kill people by taking their life force, and you know, so at least like there, it's like meet me halfway. Be like, oh well, it's not like he's a stupid scorpion monster. He's a person, you know, because like the whole point, what like it. This is where it gets muddled, because the whole point is, oh, I want to have my beauty and youth restored. And part of that is being a giant scorpion monster. That doesn't, those two thoughts don't work together. Like, it's like if you make it cheaper and you made him more of like an energy vampire who doesn't really change physically but has to kill people to stay young, you would have hit all of the point. Like, you would have still told the story you wanted to tell and actually saved money. So like I feel like that would have been like the best of both worlds, and how they probably should have approached that, because, you know, similar like what Landry was talking about earlier, like there are a bunch of smaller vignettes throughout this story that are really good. Like there are some really good moments in the story, but like it needed to. It's weird because you could have gone two ways with this, and I think it doesn't work entirely the way they approach it. Like, the story either needed to take itself a little more seriously or lean into the camp more. Because there's still some campy moments. Like, Mark Gatiss is like, when he's in pain, it's very silly and campy. Like, he's like, yeah, I really, like, it looks like he's doing like a comedy sketch. And, you know, I primarily, from a Doctor Who perspective, knew him from like a bunch of those shorts he was doing before the reboot, like kidnapping Peter Davison and like all that sort of stuff. So like I knew him as like a Doctor Who comedy guy, and he seemed to be too silly for what they were doing. Like, it needed to either be a sillier story, like have him turn into a stupid monster, but like make it campy and make it a little sillier, or take a more serious approach and do more of like the energy vampire thing I was mentioning before. But it doesn't do either, so you end up with a story that has good moments throughout and some really good dialogue, character interactions, but falls flat in a way that's like frustrating because there were easy fixes, I think.
Okay. Gevain.
All right. Well, since I was the unwitting catalyst for this week's topic, get myself ready. I'm going to meet Pixel halfway, and I'm going to meet Joe halfway, if I'm using that correctly. So, I would say probably the Pixel's points is the last couple of tops has been, what was the top 5 best episodes to introduce someone new to Doctor Who, and what were the worst 5 ones. Pixel has a point that if I'm going to say Rose is a good episode to introduce someone to Doctor Who, then I have to be a flaming hypocrite to say that Lazarus Experiment is a worse episode, because the key thing that ruins both of these episodes is the horrible special effects. What I think gives Rose the edge in that is that was the pilot episode. They were first starting out, so there's a thing of like they have the advantage of, hey guys, we're just getting our footing here. We're talking about series 3 with the Lazarus experiment. And I think that's where that particular argument falls apart. But I will give Pixel that. I'd have to be a flaming hypocrite not to acknowledge the key flaw between that's shared by both episodes is the special effects. But now this is why I go with Joe, is that's what I think when I rewatched it again, was that you didn't need the Scorpion King special effects to get this across. If you had especially with the first account with Lady Thaw, when she reacts to the fact that he's changed into something and it's like it's off screen, it's enough to see the aftermath of what he does, which is literally what they do later on when they, to Joe, I don't know if it's Joe or Landry who said like the Phantom of the Opera thing was tacked on when you have the scene in the ambulance, which is there's 3 dead bodies in the ambulance. And that's enough for you to realize what's going on. And I think there would have probably even been more horror in that, and the fact that you didn't see what kind of creature Lazarus becomes. So now I'm gonna jump back over to Pixel again, because I agree with Pixel this part. Everything else around the special effects is a great episode. It's like the family dynamics are great. It's actually a pretty good palate cleansing episode in terms of starting a new arc that leads into pretty much the back half of this series, and ultimately the Doctor's confrontation with the Master. It does a great setup. It does a great setup of that, and it's like all of Martha's family characters are clear. None of them clear points of view. You get the dynamics right away. Like there's a little bit of a rivalry with her Martha and her sister Tish, but they kind of have each other's backs when it comes to the mother who comes over as overbearing. You have the son who kind of plays the mediator. I watched Smith and Jones after this. I'm confusing the father being involved because he wasn't really in this, but you kind of get a sense of like, you have this family who kind of fights one another, but they also get each other, and they just basically keep each other in check, honestly. And that's something that is such a strong dynamic that actually, when you get to the end of this series, when the family just kind of goes through hell, and it's really because of Martha's involvement with the Doctor, and that's really the payoff here. Like, the mother's like, kind of leave him alone, stay away from him, he's dangerous, and she refuses to go along with it. But then at the end of this series, in a bunch of ways, Martha realizes her mother was right, that he was dangerous, and she, in a sense, sides with her family in that. And it's not a knock on the Doctor, it's just she's not willing to give up her family for, this sort of pseudo romance. It's almost like it's the point that Rory kind of makes throughout the whole Pond arc, is that he's such a force of nature that he makes people do things that really, if they thought about it, they might think twice if they really thought about it. So I think there's a lot in this episode. I mean, it's well written. The exchanges between the Doctor and Lazarus are great. And I think honestly, more so than Rose, the cheesy special effects really undercuts a lot of, the really, masterfully written parts of this episode. I think it does a disservice. I would even almost go to say, but this still could have gotten into the corny thing with the special effects. If they really needed to do the show you the physical change, just didn't do the old Harryhausen thing where they do the shadow on the wall and you see the creature change from there and then cut away. And I think at that time with the effects, they might have gotten more punch. What do you say? You know what I'm saying? More for your dollar, more bang for your buck. They make it more bang for your buck. But and the only other thing, because I meant to watch it before we came on tonight, but when did Satan Pit? What was it? Satan Pit. When did that one come out? Was it after this?
No, season 2.
That's what season. Which season?
Season 2.
One before.
That was season 2. Okay, so that actually was my first introduction to Doctor Who, period. That was that episode. For some reason, I remember that Satan guy being a hell of a lot better looking than Lazarus here.
Yeah.
So unless I'm misremembering, because it kind of gave me Legend vibes, and that's why I got into Doctor Who. I started watching Doctor Who when I came across that episode. So I don't know what the hell happened with this one, but what I would say is if they were going to do anything in terms of remastering an episode and updating special effects, this would be my first prime candidate for that one, and then it would become a whole different and, even with upgraded special effects, I just think I don't think that would help. I think it would actually be cheesy. I think it would have to be like off screen. But I think after the special effects, great setup, great characters, great interaction between the Doctor. The Lazarus was a great villain. Even the stuff between him and Lady Thaw was just like, and that's like when it's when you have like episodic television, when it's crisp, like when the writer knows the characters and they really get the point of them across within a few lines, because it becomes clear. Because I couldn't tell if he and Lady Thaw were married or not. I couldn't get that off of it, but you did get the sense that he used her. Like it was he used her. And she had a right to be upset. She just she should have just picked another battle. This wasn't the fight. This wasn't the hill to stand on. But other than that, other than the effects, great episode.
All right, I guess that means it's my turn. I really loved it, guys. The effects are terrible, absolutely. But everything around this episode is so strong, I just don't care. I love the concept of within the evolution, he's mutating because he's unlocked it by pushing himself too far back. I forgot that the Doctor's involvement is really... Because if he hadn't gotten involved, most likely the building would have blown up. And then, it's a terrible tragedy. And none of the events would have happened. A lot of people would have died. But he's partly responsible for the creation of the Lazarus monster in that way. He is also... I forgot that it was like, okay, this is just after a trip, and I agreed to let you go home, so I guess this is it. Bye-bye. This is a perfect, like, in-between. And last week, when we were talking about terrible episodes to introduce people to, I don't think this is a terrible episode for somebody to stumble upon. Because my whole thinking on is, can it capture your interest? I think this episode does a great job at capturing that. You're interested in Martha's family. You're interested in what could this guy that's coming in and whispering in the mom's ear, hey, you don't actually know that guy. She should pick careful friends. Yep. This is coming from Harold Saxon. Who's Harold Saxon? It engages you. It wants you to stay with it. I think this is a fantastic episode to stumble upon, even with the terrible, terrible CGI. I think that's the easiest thing to push past, because every conversation between the Doctor and Lazarus, top tier. I love the scene in the cathedral because it's so beautiful. I was actually thinking Spider-Man 3.
Ironically, I was thinking of the comic that Spider-Man 3 was based off of.
God, will you please kill Peter Parker? But no, with that, I forgot how detestable Lazarus is as a person as well as a monster.
Yep.
But it's just so fantastic. I loved it. I loved it more this time than I did the last time.
Can I ask one question, Pixel?
Sure.
Why do you not extend this same grace to Rose?
I guess I just don't find the concept of plastic aliens that intriguing. I don't know. The Autons never did it for me. Like, I don't know. The mannequins coming out is a cool shot, but they just don't have that much to them for me. So when you have that, you have the terrible goopy face in the pool at the bottom, and you have these rubber trash cans grabbing people and replacing them with Ken dolls. It's just, it is distracting how bad it is in that one. I don't think the story feels strong enough for me in Rose to keep me going to the next one.
God, everything you were saying was so on point until this, and now you're just dead to me.
I'm sorry. It's just true. I
was like, oh my God, I'm agreeing with everything Pixel is saying, and you had to flip it right there. You had to.
It's just that.
No, I'm with you, Landry. I'm with you.
Like I said, if it was up to Rose to get me into Doctor Who, I would have never gotten into Doctor Who. It just didn't click. It didn't click.
It's not a Christmas episode, that's why.
That's true, because the first episode I watched after that actually got me into it was The Runaway Bride. If we think about it, Christmas is the reason.
For the season.
There you go. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people love Rose. Rose got a lot of people hooked. It did not hook me. It repelled me.
You're such like a grade A hater. Like when you're hating on something, you're just like straight up, I'm sorry, dude, it's trash. Like you're just straight up like, if I saw that episode, I wouldn't even do this live stream.
I wouldn't be here. It's true. If it was done with that episode,
like that,
it would have turned.
Our next 50 live streams is exploring a second of Rose. And like detail analysis of that 1 second. That is going to be
why I hate Rose. I also like Martha better as a companion. I never cared for Rose as a character. Another thing, I'm sorry.
My daughters can't stand Rose.
Martha with her family and having that, I've always preferred her. Nothing against Billie Piper. I've never cared for Rose as a character. I've never cared for Rose as an episode.
I mean, listen, I don't love Rose. I didn't like Martha very much. Donna was freaking great. So that's
I love Donna.
Yeah, Donna was
so good.
Yeah, I love Donna too.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's like my daughters are trying to get me into
trying to weasel
Disney.
your way back into our good graces.
My daughter's trying to get me to show Best Friends Whenever. They said, like, oh, Dad, you like Doctor Who, so you'll really like this show too. And they were talking about how like great the second season was and so on and so forth. So he started from the first one, and I was like, okay, kids, I don't think I'm going to make it at this point.
What was the
show? Best Friends Whenever. So it's about these two girls who they get into some science experiment accident, so they travel through time. But the thing is, it's like the whole first season is pretty much like goofy Disney, typical Disney sitcom setup. But it actually is better in the second season. So you're almost just better watching the second season, getting into it, then going back to the first, kind of like what Pixel was saying here. Because it's like if you start off with the first season, it's just such trite that it's like you never get to like when the show actually changes in tone. It's actually like, oh, okay, that's pretty interesting for a Disney Channel show, because sometimes that's what it is with people. If you jump them in from the beginning, bruh, it's like Gladiator. One time I was watching with someone and they were like, we watched it when we first watched it. When they first saw it, we came in like 15 minutes into it. And they loved the movie. We started watching from the beginning one time. And they were like, if I had watched this movie from the beginning, I would have never finished it. So I mean, it's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris,
you need to give us your thoughts, man. Down under.
Me. Yeah, I like this episode. It's that good, like we said, that good in between, just filler to bridge between the first arc of Martha's travels and then the second arc leading into like continuing her travels proper with the Doctor. As you know, this speech between the Doctor and Lazarus towards the end, is great. This episode has just really good parts in it. Yes, the giant CGI scorpion man. It's a product of its time. I feel like I'm okay with everything but the face. The CGI face is actually what kills it. Because it's supposed to be unsettling. There's supposed to be still a human aspect to it. It just doesn't fit with the rest of like the model. Just this weird. And the thing is, it doesn't even really look like Mark Gatiss.
No.
Yeah.
It's just a random
more
guy.
like a skull. They should have made it more just like it's a skull at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been better.
And, no hate to Mark Gatiss, but like him becoming young and then Tish is like, oh, I was about to maybe I'm gonna get with this guy now.
Tish is weird.
It is weird. Because like he was just an old man like a minute ago. And she's ready to like.
But he's supposed to be like what 73, and he's got old makeup on like he's 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was 79 or something like that. But
he's like it's 70
Either way, he's
it's 70 something, but he looks so old. Like it's like you overdid it a little bit.
I don't mind that though, because they are catering to say the 9-year-old who ain't like that old is ancient to them.
Sure.
Like you need to kind of play it up, right, a little bit.
Hell, I'm mythical at 53.
What's that?
I said I'm mythical at 53.
So what are you talking about? When you get to be 54, we'll talk.
There you go.
But no, even with its faults, I do like this episode. And before we get into ratings, some fun facts about this episode, which is funny because both Pixel and Joe, something that they mentioned is 2 different facts without them realizing it. So, let's start with the stupid one. Professor Lazarus was originally going to be called Professor Anger. Good.
Oh wow.
Good change.
Yeah.
That's a stupid name, Professor Anger.
A+.
A+ decision there. Initially, the major location in the script was supposed to be St. Paul's Cathedral, because it could be viewed from Lazarus's office, but they backed out at the last minute, so they had to change it to 2 different locations. Oh, they intended to have 2 different locations to cover it: St. Martin in the Fields in Westminster, and the Royal Albert Hall. Both declined, so they went instead to Southwark Cathedral and just rewrote that into the script. The prosthetic for Mark Gatiss's old Richard Lazarus is actually it's an old head cast of Vincent Price.
What?
Yes. It was tracked down. Yeah, an old head cast of Vincent Price was tracked down and used by Neil Gorton to add an aged and wrinkled look to the prosthetics Mark Gatiss wore. As the
I
elderly
have
Dr. Lazarus.
an old Vincent Price head cast. I wonder if that's the one I have.
Originally, in the script, Professor Lazarus was supposed to be working on developing invulnerable synthetic skin. This was dropped by RTD because he feared that this was probably part of the plot of Spider-Man 3.
Why did he think that?
I
Must
don't know.
have thought that was like somehow related to Venom as like a symbiote or something like that. Like it had to be. What else could?
Maybe,
could he have thought?
maybe.
Like,
The set piece for the Lazarus's hypersonic soundwave manipulator capsule is actually no. This is the 3rd thing that Gevain mentioned.
nice.
It is the redecorated descent capsule from Impossible Planet Satan Pit.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice.
And I still remember. Joe brought up the Cronenberg's The Fly, and Vincent Price played The Fly.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, quick aside.
That is also technically another thing. One of the inspirations for this episode was The Fly,
Makes sense.
which is a very obvious one. Yeah.
I forgot to mention earlier something I didn't notice before because there's no reason I would have. But looking back at it, you see all the Gallifreyan kind of iconic stuff all around. That was nice. That was fun.
Yeah.
And according to the novel, a book, The Monster Vault, the DNA, that little evolutionary flaw that Lazarus accidentally unlocked, was dormant genes passed down from the days of the great vampires. So there's your vampire connection, Joe.
Here we go.
Wait,
There we go.
would those be the same vampires that are actually like the alien, fish people
From,
the
no.
Doctor?
No,
Visually, that would make some sense.
yeah, it's the vampires from State of Decay.
Okay.
I immediately thought, I was like, yeah, it's the State of Decay vampires. That would have been great if they just had a giant vampire hand come out of the ground.
Just rise up, and the Doctor's like, "Oh, this guy again. I thought we killed him." And for some of the cast in this, the mysterious man that warned Martha's mum about the Doctor is portrayed by Bertie Carvel, who, if you're watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, is Baelor Targaryen.
Wow.
Whoa.
Haven't watched it yet. On my list. No spoilers.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it's real.
Admittedly, I read the book and the comic book, so
This led me to a tangent because Sam Spruill, who betrays his younger brother, Maker, was Swarm in Flux.
Really?
Oh.
Because I'm like, he sounds vaguely familiar. And then I had a look at his Wikipedia page. He was Swarm. Not old Swarm, main young Swarm in all of Flux. That was him. I'm like, huh. Then I'm like, British actor, of course.
And that's right. There's 10 of them.
Yes. There's only 10 and they're all in Doctor Who at one point. But yep, that's the facts. I guess we'll go straight into our ratings. Landry,
give us a number.
I'm going to give this a 7.5, which is probably about 3 points higher than I thought I was going to give it going in. Like I said, I did not like this episode the first time I saw it. It was much, much better than I give credit for. It could be the fact that this is surrounded by some amazing episodes in the first season, the second season, the third season. To go back and watch it now without being in the middle of those, it may be a weak episode for the David Tennant era of Doctor Who, but a weak episode for the David Tennant era can actually still be very good.
Say it, Landry.
I absolutely love the idea of him not turning into a giant scorpion and being more of an energy vampire and saving the budget and having the monster happening off screen, all that stuff. All those would have gone a long way for me, and that's what actually keeps it down, because everything said by everyone here I have agreed with. The focus of Martha's family, that this actually could be a good first episode for people. I wouldn't have believed it. I'm sold. I really liked this one.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Also mentioning that it would have worked better if he didn't turn into a giant scorpion. That would make sense because his last feed on the paramedics in the ambulance doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because how could he turn into giant scorpion man in that ambulance? But the ambulance, all it did was just crash. It's not even it exploded from the inside. So it makes more sense if he just wasn't a giant scorpion man. Because then when we see him again, he's back to as young Lazarus. So
It's life force. It's life
I don't know.
force.
Did he wake up? They crashed. He went outside, turned into a giant scorpion, killed them, and just went into the cathedral. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. And that's what these are the things that actually knock it down, because otherwise I think there's a lot to really enjoy about this. And it does give you a lot of hooks to make you want to watch more. And it happens to take place in roughly contemporary time, which is a great way to get somebody introduced to Doctor Who. My introduction was Seeds of Doom, which everything happened on Earth and most of the Doctor Who stuff wasn't there. It's kind of similar to this one, actually. So
Joe of the Corallos.
For me, like I do think it's a good solid story. I'm gonna give this like a 6.5. I still remember watching this, like, and I watched this, like, I had the DVDs, like, when this came out, and I watched, like, this season, a number of times, like, all the, the Eccleston stuff, all the Tennant stuff going into the Matt Smith stuff. But, so it's very hard for me to watch this in a vacuum when so much of this season was stronger. Like Blink and a Human Nature, Family of Blood are like all-time stories for me. And there's just some real knockouts here, and this one it's good. It's it's at points it's very good. But and this was the first season, like where Tennant didn't have Love and Monsters and Fear Her back to back. So,
you
but
mean a great episode and a bad episode is what you're trying to say. Love and Monsters.
Exactly.
We all know. I can't believe I just moved the brick out of here after all these years.
What happened to the bit of a life you had with it? Did you all
change? We all grow apart.
But yeah, it's so for me it was a 6.5. It's a very good story. If they made a handful of cosmetic changes, it'd probably be a 7.5. But yeah.
Gevain.
All right, so I'm gonna sort of keep the stack going so we can get Pixel to the 8 that he wants to give this episode. So I'm gonna give it a 7. So I'm gonna stand on the shoulders of Joe's 6.5 and undergird Landry 7.5. So Pixel gets to 8, and then of course Chris will deliver the knockout below. No, knock it back down to 7.5 again. But it's a 7. I think to Joe's point, this is kind of like I watch Dance with the Stars About Girls. Sometimes there's those seasons where it's like everyone who starts off from the beginning is so good, it's like, man, it just gets hard to cut. And this is a very strong series. And I think when you do stack it up against other ones, I was initially thinking 8 because honestly, with for me, the strength of the story, like minus the special effects, if the special effects were there, they done it differently, I would give it an 8 easy. But I think a 7 is fair given the rest of the series. And to Landry's point, it's something where it is a strong contemporary episode to introduce someone to Doctor Who. And so yeah, for me it's a 7, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Hi, I'm Pixel. I have to take away a point because that CGI is absolutely abysmal. But I love pretty much everything else in here. There is a handful, like small pieces that could maybe tighten it slightly. So I'll take away a half point there. And that leaves me at 8.5.
Higher than I
get a jump in Sergeant Bane. I had to give it a little bit more of an edge. 8.5 is where I'm placing this story.
You're just daring Chris now. You're just daring them.
I don't think they have a Target novelization of this. I would love one.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, that would be good. That would actually be excellent. Yep.
Chris.
I am going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. I like it. I enjoy it. But yeah, there are flaws to this episode.
That's a missile drop kick from the top rope.
But no, yeah, it's not this story that is like so like, oh, this is bad. Don't watch this. That CGI giant scorpion man, disgusting. And it's like, yes, I agree, but it's still a solid story. I would prefer this over the reality war.
Oh
Yes.
I would
Yes.
rather be strapped down watching the Lazarus Experiment on repeat than watch the reality war a second time.
Of course. what kind of comparison is that?
Yeah, literal
Ever?
hydrogen bomb,
Oh.
literal hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
Literally.
I mean, I'd rather have dental work than watch the reality war. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And I will say, last thing, this isn't about the Lazarus Experiment. It's more about Series 3 and more about the because Doctor Who's not on streaming anymore aside from the RTD2 era stuff. So I've got the box set to rewatch all the old stuff. I will say, whoever designed this, whoever put these episodes together. So disc 1, Runaway Bride, Smith and Jones, Shakespeare Code, Gridlock, Daleks in Manhattan. Disc 2, Evolution of the Daleks. Why did you split the fucking two-parter on
That's how
two
it should
different
be.
discs?
That's how it should be. It should make you pause.
They don't
Have you-
do it to
cliffhanger.
they don't do it to Human Nature, Family of Blood. They don't do it to the finale. They do it to Daleks in Manhattan, Evolution of the Daleks.
Absolutely, because that is one of those very interesting decisions. So you need to be sat there wondering.
Sat there with like, oh no, what? The human Dalek? It's like, oh, better take out disc 1 and put disc 2 in.
It makes you think. It makes you think.
Yeah, it does, because I even remember watching that like when it came out and just being like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna look through all of these now. None of the two-parters are split for Series 1. Let's have a look at Series 2. None of the two-parters in Series 2 are on different discs. All right, Series 4. Wow, would you look at that? None of the two-parters are split on Series 4 either. And there's no point in looking at the specials because no, there is. End of Time is a two-parter.
Yeah.
It's on one disc.
Yeah.
Series 3, they're like, I don't know, let's just...
They were looking for two-parters with worthy cliffhangers, and Daleks Take Manhattan was it. Don't you understand? Don't you see the vision?
I don't see the vision.
Well, you need to open
Why
your
only
third
Series
Dalek
3?
eye, and then you'll understand.
Well, Series 3, the season of unforced errors.
So what I'm saying is you need to re-release this box set. Fix this error.
Oh man.
They're probably going to sometime in the future anyway.
Well, that's all they have right now.
We need the 50K
Well, I like to say this. I don't know who got us on this roll, but whoever started this has been 3 good weeks of topics here, man. I have enjoyed these topics. Yeah.
That means Pixel needs to choose a terrible one next week.
I was actually thinking.
Lazarus Experiment again. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Okay, that is our show. We want to thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We will be back next week doing something. Definitely something. We'll find out.
Right.
As all things should be. Thank you so much, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye. Farewell. Alonzi.